I'm stupid. So I'm back in the trailer getting some work done today. Let me show you a couple of things that I've gotten done already, a couple of things that I plan on getting done yet today, and an event that I am hoping, kind of in a race, to get this thing done before going to it, if I'm able to go to it. So let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, I don't know if you can hear it, but my inverter back here is running because I have my 12-volt fridge plugged in. I went ahead and got this Vivor 12-volt fridge. It's plugged into 110 right now with the inverter. It does obviously have 12-volt capability with a cigarette lighter that we're going to get into here in a second. But I've been running this for about a day and a half. I've had it for a few weeks now. But I kind of stuffed it in here. I've been, kind of storing stuff in here. Haven't really used it much. But I've been running it for about a day and a half now. And it hasn't touched my battery. It hasn't touched the battery system. The solar system keeps up with it just fine. So that's really cool news. So far, just in the short time I've used it, seems to work great. I have some Propels in here and a couple of protein drinks. And they're nice and cold. All right, so I got this 12-volt marine plug. Comes with a fuse, and this will eventually get plugged into my my fuse panel, my 12-volt fuse panel. So I'll be able to plug this into my 12-volt fuse panel and mount it on the side of the cabinet that ends up being my electrical cabinet. So not much has changed here. There's my 12-volt panel. I have a couple fuses in it right now because I'm running a couple things on it, like my cell phone. So my cell phone is charging because this USB port behind me is finally wired up. Get into that here in a second. But this is that 12-volt DC adapter, and my cabinet will end right about here all the way across. And so this will get mounted on the outside of the cabinet back here. The fridge will stay basically where it's at, and then this will just run through the back of the cabinet over to my 12-volt on its own circuit. Now this is kind of where I think, your help, your input a little bit. It is my understanding that when it comes to like the fridge and things like that, that I'm better off running it off of 12-volt than I am off the inverter, because overall life expectancy of the lithium battery is longer than if you're running an inverter, at least one of the quality of Renogy. As far as I know, they're very good inverters. That the more you run the inverter, the lower the life expectancy is of it, just like anything else. But that the life expectancy of the lithium battery is longer than what the inverter is if you're running the inverter all the time. If I'm wrong, let me know. That's just my understanding, and one of the reasons I'm going with 12-volt for the fridge as opposed to the 110 that is plugged into now. Also, it's quieter. The inverter's not running if there's no 110 being drawn from it. So that's the other positive side. So yes, I do have, let me get it out of the way here, I do have my 12-volt USB plug. Everything's wired up and into the fuse panel now, so my cell phone's in it. And I have, can you see this? You can see this. I have the 110 plug wired in here. I don't have it wired on the out yet. So this is going to be the out. It goes up and around here for my Pioneer air conditioner that I'll be putting in. But if I decide to go ahead and start plugging these into the inverter, I just don't want the end of that wire that doesn't have a receptacle on it yet to be live. So along with that, I screwed up this morning. I now have an outside light on the trailer. There's one of these little nightlight outside lights, aluminum body, LED, 12-volt, all that stuff right here. It will get plugged into here. I now have my light switches in, and my lights, are there any in frame here right now? There aren't any in frame right now. We'll have to look at that in a second. But my lights are now hooked up. I did screw up this morning. I put this block, so I went and screwed the light in, put the block in, the block cracked when screwing it in. So I went ahead, we'll go outside in a second and see it on the side of the trailer, but I went ahead and caulked the light in. It does come with a gasket. I don't trust those gaskets for anything, so I went ahead and caulked the light in. Once that caulk settles and has essentially glued the light to the body, I'm going to go ahead and unscrew it and replace this with 2 pieces of 3/4 inch plywood or 1/2 inch plywood as anchors instead of this. This is just a piece of board, not plywood, and it cracked even though I pre-drilled it. So here's the light out here. It's right next to the door, as you can see there. I don't like that. I don't know, I'm going to need to do something that keeps it from doing that so much. But I think that having just a nice single exterior light out here, especially at night, out in the desert, if I hear a noise or something like that, I don't open the door and there's like a mountain lion or something outside that I can't see when I look out my window. I am a little on the fence on whether or not to put one on the other side. So that's why I bought 2, I was thinking about putting one next to the window on the other side here. And I've hesitated doing that because I think I would need to buy another light switch, a different light switch, one with 3 positions or 3 switches, because if I end up at like a campground somewhere with this trailer and I need to turn the lights on for whatever reason, even if it's just outside relaxing and I want the lights on, I don't want one of these to be shining over like in the window of somebody's RV or campground, something like that, that they don't want to be lit up. And so I'm on the fence about this. Let me know in the comments what you would do. Would you just put 2 on one side? There's really not room on the back around the door to put this because I've already thought of that. Or just have it as a spare. I did get the wire run, so this is going to be the wire for this light. I ran it up and over, down, and it's right here. It'll end up going down along here to the fuse panel as well. And that's the other part about adding another light, is if I add another light, then I add another light switch, or a third pole light switch, and that fills up my, I think, that comes very close to filling up my fuse panel. So then I would want to maybe go to another fuse panel, because if I decide to put rock lights on this or something like that, some undercarriage lighting, which is a thought that I've had in my head about putting some white lights under it, even if it's just a few. Now it's a light switch for that as well. So now we're talking about 4 or 5 light switches. We're talking about 4 or 5 light switches, getting another fuse panel, and all that other good stuff. I am going to really like having that fridge in here. So this brings me to the event that I was talking about. There is a first annual, what they're calling first annual, assuming they're going to have more, event coming up outside of Amarillo, Texas, which is about 11 hours away, and it's called Gears. So it is an outdoors event, and it is being put on by a firearms advocacy group called Gun Owners of America. I know that this is an outdoor channel. I know this is an Overland off-roading channel. And my firearms channel, I keep my firearms channel separate from this. For those of you guys who don't know, because I think the bulk of you that are subscribers right now are also subscribers of my other channel, RTT Guns and Gear. Gun Owners of America has figured out, and I don't know why other people in the industry haven't done this yet, that outdoors people, off-roaders, even hunters, are oftentimes at least firearms owners, if not enthusiasts. And Gun Owners of America has had their Goals event, which is a firearms event, every year for the last 2 years, I think, 2 or 3 years. But they have decided to put together outdoors and overlanding with firearms and make them meet in the middle with this event called Gears. I'm hoping to have this done by the time that happens, which is the end of, I think it's April 24th through 26th. I'll annotate it here if I'm wrong, or I'll annotate it here one way or the other. And today is March 20th or 21st, so I have a month. I have a month to get this finished and proven, meaning get it done, and then I have 2 days to drive it around, make sure that the solar panels aren't going to be rattling off the roof, make sure nothing's falling off the walls, all that stuff, before I take it on a 12-hour, which pulling this thing would probably end up being a 13 or 14-hour drive to Amarillo, Texas from Tucson, Arizona. If not, I guess I would just take my truck and sleep in my truck with the canopy on the side of it, or the awning on the side of it. Anyway, that is what I am hoping to attend for this thing's maiden voyage, is the Gears event. I'm going to leave a link to the Gears event page down in the pinned comment. You guys can check it out for yourself. If you're an overlander, outdoorsman, off-roader, it may be something that you're interested in. So what is next for the trailer that I'm getting done today? I'm hoping to get this wire ran the rest of the way. That is this wire behind me right here for the air conditioner that's going to sit over there. So I'll get it ran, get the outlet box on the wall and things like that, or on the stud where I think it needs to go. Get that. I plan on ordering the air conditioner hopefully by the end of next week. I'm really hoping to be able to do that and get that installed, get the holes in the floor cut for the intake and exhaust, and get this thing starting to get air conditioned, because it is over 100 already. It was 102 yesterday, I think, and it is boiling hot today. The inverter will not. This morning it was running a little bit, you know, like maybe every half hour. Now it's just running constantly because it is hot. And once this wall has the electrical ran through it, and that outlet in, even if the AC is not here yet, but the outlet in and all that, I can make this side live and get it insulated and sheeted, even though the ceiling's not done. The ceiling's not going to be done for a minute. I'm having a hard time figuring out what I want to use for the ceiling. Hold on. I'm not even going to edit that out. Or was I? The ceiling. I don't know what I'm going to do with the ceiling yet. But normally, you know, when building a house, you put your ceiling material up and then you put your walls up, so the walls help hold it up. But because I'm running all this wiring has been run down the corners. The ceiling the walls are actually going to stop about that far from where the ceiling would be, and then the ceiling is going to actually stop about a ½ inch away from the walls. And I'm going to put up a trim board around the whole thing to help fill that gap, but also to hide the wiring. That way I can unscrew the trim board easily and access the wiring all the way around the perimeter of the ceiling of the truck, or of the trailer. That's the best way I think I've found to be able to do it. So I'll be able to put this wall on once this electrical's done, get it insulated, AC in. The other side, I am not going to be able to finish until I get the new awning. And as far as the new awning goes, I think it's just going to be an RV awning. I found them on Amazon, like the manual ones that you use a hook to pull down. Put that other 270 awning on my truck. It's been awesome to use. And but I think I'm just going to put a 10-foot or 12-foot, probably 10-foot manual rollout RV style awning on the passenger side of the van, or of the trailer. But I can't enclose the passenger side wall until that awning's on and the cleats are in, and everything that holds the awning in place is through the wall. So I guess the last thing would be that the truck, a little update on the truck. I told you guys in the past that my truck had solar on it, that my truck had Renogy on it. And so for the time being, until I get a tent for this, I think I'm going to mount my single solar panel that I've had for my truck on the rack. That way I can put a new inverter in this, because it does need a new inverter. I can put a new inverter in this, and when I don't have the trailer, I at least have the truck with a small inverter and be able to like grab my 12 volt fridge, because you know that's what happened to my cooler in the fire, and so I don't have a cooler right now. But yeah, so I'll be able to grab my cooler or my 12 volt fridge, strap it into the back of the truck, and have it running either in the truck or possibly in the bed of the truck, running off solar. And that's it. I do appreciate everybody out there. I know this wasn't probably as interesting of a video as others in the past, but because of the sort of order of which stuff has to happen, I've only been able to pick away at a few things here and there, because I have to save for the air conditioner. I have to save for this. I have to save for that a little bit. It's just not coming together as fast as I wanted it to, but now I'm sort of in a point of a race where I want to be able to make Gears event, and hopefully take this for its maiden voyage there. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and remember to hit all notifications so that hopefully YouTube lets you know that I posted new videos. I post shorts that go along with every one of these, long form videos as well, so be sure to check those out. And if you are interested in firearms content, RTT Guns and Gear is my other channel. It's considerably larger than what this one is. I've been doing it for 14 years over there, and yeah, any support over there would be awesome. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll talk to you later.